to a piece more associated with New Year's Eve, especially if you happen to be in Vienna, where this will be playing as the clock strikes midnight into the new year, the wonderful Blue Danube Waltz. This was actually commissioned in 1866 by the Vienna Men's Choral Association. The original form of this piece was as a choral piece. There are words to it for voices and an orchestra, but Strauss didn't actually like that too much, so he changed it around, turned it into a more orchestral piece, which is how we know it better today. Johann Strauss II was the son of Johann Strauss I. His father was one of the first to write these waltzes, a new kind of dance that became a huge craze in the 19th century in Vienna and then spread across all of Europe. And the father started writing these waltzes, formed a little orchestra, but he had three sons and he did not want any of them to make music as a career. He thought it was the worst profession possible. He's not wrong all the time, but he actually forbade his children from playing any instrument. And apparently at one time he found young Johann playing violin in a closet, and he threatened to beat the music out of him if he heard him playing anymore. Now the father was not a good guy to begin with. He ended up having 8 different children with a mistress whose name was Emily Trampish, which is not a good name. And that was, so he really did not like his father very much at all, and would ultimately grow up, play the violin, and form his own waltz orchestra to rival his father's. And ultimately, when the father dies, Strauss takes in all the musicians, makes this huge waltz orchestra, and it becomes a phenomenon of the whole last part of the 19th century. He would write over 500 waltzes, so he's known as the Waltz King. He ended up coming actually to the United States in 1877. There was something in Boston called the World Peace Jubilee. And for that, they built a whole stadium, and they wanted to do this giant version of the Blue Danube Waltz. And so there were 2,000 people in the orchestra performing and 20,000 choir members singing the Blue Danube Waltz. It must have been quite a phenomenon. This has now kind of become the unofficial Austrian national anthem. You might remember the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. It has a lot of wonderful music in there. One last anecdote. Strauss's daughter ended up one time going to a concert of the music of Johannes Brahms. And Brahms always loved Strauss's music. He thought it really got to the core of joy in life. And Brahms recognized the young Strauss's daughter in the audience. She came up afterwards to get an autograph from him on her fan. That was kind of a custom. You could give the fan to somebody. And he signed the fan, and on the fan he signed the first 2 bars of the Blue Danube Waltz, and underneath it he wrote, "Alas, not by Johannes Brahms." So he knew a good piece when he heard it. We have a wonderful 4-hand arrangement. There's some room to dance. If anybody wants to waltz, come on up.